it's Alana. Thanks for coming back to check out this video. So if you guys haven't seen the previous videos, I think it's important for you to know that the purpose of them is to talk about social issues that Pacific Islanders face. So in this video I'm going to be talking about why specifically am I targeting Pacific Islanders and what makes them so special or different from everybody else's social issues. 2 words: historical trauma. Historical trauma is basically the intergenerational trauma experienced by indigenous peoples who were affected by colonialism. So this also not only includes Pacific Islanders, but also Native Americans and other indigenous tribes. So for those of you who are more similar with the American history that's taught on the mainland, I'm sure you've heard about the Trail of Tears and how Native Americans were exploited, murdered, killed, and when they were experiencing all these different colonialism actions, they also suffered things like extreme disease, which wiped out put 50 tribes to extinction. Yeah, sorry, I had to think about that one. So even though that happened way back when, we're still experiencing these effects today. For Native Americans, when their people were wiped out, that also led to them losing a lot of their traditions and culture and values. And they're still trying to figure out how to regain that culture back. How do you regain lessons that were in 50 tribes that are now extinct? So their ancestors, their lineage, the people who are still alive today are still searching for that culture. Now, bring it back to today and for Pacific Islanders. Pacific Islanders have faced colonialism even before the actual annexation of Hawaii. When colonialists went to the island, they put in action these suppressive laws that took away people's right to really follow their tradition and speak their language. And it highly discouraged the elders from spreading the language and knowledge of our culture to their sons, their daughters, their granddaughters, their grandkids. So we don't know much about the past. Fortunately today, of course, we've come a long way. So before we weren't able to vote on the island, now we are. Now we're able to express who we are through our language, through our dance, and we're actively searching for culture, which is amazing. We have this kind of island renaissance going on back home. But it doesn't take away the fact that we still experience these effects today. So I think one of the biggest ones that stands out to me is that when these suppressive laws discourage the elders from communicating with their families, especially the younger kids, it unintentionally instilled values that has led to our people not really knowing how to talk to each other, especially when it comes about really sensitive topics like the social issues that I will be talking about, like depression, mental health in general, really, sexual orientation, drug use, things that are sensitive topics and they're hard enough to talk about in general. But when you have a family value that's, you don't really realize is there, which is not being able to communicate with one another, that only further hinders us from really being able to talk about it and be able to get over these obstacles. And I think that's part of the reason why all of these negative statistics that we have are so high for Pacific Islanders. I think it's also important to note that the elders were highly discouraged because with the suppressive laws and the new vibe that was coming in through the island, it was told and expressed to them that in order for their kids to have a better life, they needed to get rid of this barbaric knowledge and lose the language and know more about American culture or the English culture. And I'm sure you know that the majority of the islands are U.S. territories or have a U.S. presence in all of them. So I think it's really important to do your research. I'm definitely still looking into doing more research. There's always more that you can learn. And it's very important for you to stay educated about topics, especially if you want to learn more about yourself and your roots. I think that in order for us to really gain confidence and have a really proud cultural identity, it's really important that we do the research into these things that kind of defined our culture and shaped how it's transitioned and changed since, since the beginning of time when it started. If you guys haven't known, I also have a website now called sincerelyalana.weebly.com, and if you go there, I'll also have links to different organizations where you can learn more information about these things, as well as links to different articles where I found a lot of this information, and I think it'll be really helpful, especially if you're interested in learning more about these topics. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the sections below. If you didn't like it, I'm open to constructive criticism, that's the word. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Mahalo. Bye!